Hello, my dear bachcho. Welcome back. I know, board exams are just around the corner. You're all studying so hard, right? But hey, don't you worry one bit. I am here to help you revise one of the most important and honestly one of the easiest chapters. So today we are going to do a super quick revision of Chapter 3, Reproductive Health. I know it looks like a big chapter, but trust me, by the time we finish this, you'll have all the key points right here in your head. So come on, grab your notebook, and chalo, let's begin.
All right, first things first, what exactly is reproductive health? It's not just about being free from some disease or problem. No, the World Health Organization, the WHO, they say it's about total well-being. That means you're looking at everything, the physical side, the emotional side, even your behavior and social life, all related to reproduction. It's the whole package, the complete picture of health.
Okay, let's move on. Now we're going to talk about a very, very important topic. And this isn't just for your exams, bachcho. This is important for our whole country. We're talking about population. So, why is this such a big deal for India? Let's find out. Whoa, just look at that number, 1.2 billion. Can you believe it? That's the mind-boggling number our population in India crossed, and that was way back in May 2011. This kind of super fast increase is what we call a population explosion. And think about it, it puts so much pressure on everything, our food, our homes, jobs, you name it.
So to handle this, the government had to do something, right? They started lots of awareness programs. And I bet your parents will remember this one. It was a super famous slogan, Hum do, Hamare do. It was literally everywhere, on TV, on posters. It was just a simple, powerful message, to encourage smaller, happier families.
And this leads us to a really important question. And listen up, this is a very common one in exams. If a couple wants to plan their family, what should they look for in a contraceptive? What makes a method, ideal? Let's break it down.
Okay, pay attention now. Here are the key points. So, an ideal contraceptive. First, it should be user-friendly. That just means it's easy to use. Simple. Then, it has to be easily available. You should be able to get it without too much trouble. And of course, it has to be effective. It also needs to be reversible, just in case the couple decides they want to have children later on. And maybe most important of all, it should have no side effects, or at least very, very few. Got it? Remember these 5 points, okay?
All right, so now we know what an ideal contraceptive looks like. Let's get into the different methods that are actually out there. We can group them into a few simple categories, yeah? Think of this as your quick little how-to guide. First up, we have what are called natural methods. Now, the main idea here is super simple. Just avoid any chance of the sperm and ovum meeting up, but, and this is the key part, without using any medicines or devices. It's all about timing and really understanding the body's own natural cycles.
Okay, next on our list, barrier methods. And the name says it all, really. These methods create a literal physical barrier. They just block the sperm from reaching the ovum. Simple as that.
And the most common example? The condom, of course. Now, what's really cool, and you need to listen to this, is the dual benefit. It's like a 2-in-1 deal. Not only do they prevent pregnancy, but they also give you protection from STIs, that's sexually transmitted infections, and that includes the very dangerous HIV/AIDS. This is a super important point for your exam, bachcho. Don't forget it.
Moving on to category number 3, IUDs. That stands for intrauterine devices. So what are they? They're these tiny little devices that are inserted into the uterus, but only by a doctor or an expert nurse, okay? They're really effective and actually a very popular choice here in India, especially for couples who want to plan a gap between their children. And look at this! This is a great picture of a very common IUD, the copper T. So how does this little thing work? It's pretty clever science, actually. The device releases tiny copper ions, and these ions, they suppress the sperm's motility. Basically, they make it so the sperm can't swim properly to reach the egg. How simple and effective is that?
Next up, let's talk about oral pills. And you know what? This is something we can all be really proud of. I'm talking about Saheli. It's a once-a-week pill, and it was developed by our own scientists right here in India, at the CDRI in Lucknow. So these pills work with hormones. Their main job is to stop the egg from being released in the first place. That process is called ovulation. It's a true made-in-India success story.
Okay, we're now at our final category of contraception. These are the surgical methods, also known as sterilization. Now, these are usually suggested for couples who are 100% sure they don't want any more children because, well, this is considered a permanent method.
This table here breaks it down just perfectly. For males, the procedure is called a vasectomy. This is where a tiny part of the vas deferens is cut or tied. And for females, it's called a tubectomy, where the fallopian tube is blocked. See the difference? But in both cases, the goal is the same: stop the gametes from traveling where they need to go. And it is so crucial to remember this part. The chances of reversing these procedures are very, very poor.
And here, this diagram is straight from your textbook. It shows you exactly what happens in a tubectomy. You can see it, right? The fallopian tubes are cut and then tied up. This creates a permanent block. So now the egg that's released from the ovary, well, it can never ever meet the sperm. It's a really clear picture of how it works.
Okay, Bacho, listen. We're now moving on to a couple of topics that might feel a little sensitive. And that's okay. But it's very important that we understand them from a proper, scientific point of view. We're just going to look at the simple facts, okay? Nothing to worry about. So the first one is MTP, which stands for Medical Termination of Pregnancy. This is the intentional or voluntary termination of a pregnancy. Now, it has been legal in India since 1971, but under very strict conditions, mainly to stop it from being misused. And a very important fact for you to remember is that MTPs are considered relatively safe only during the first trimester. That's up to 12 weeks of pregnancy.
Next up, we have STIs. And this table, it's extremely important. It shows a really critical difference. You see, while some infections like gonorrhea and syphilis, they are completely curable if you catch them early. But many others, like hepatitis B and HIV infection, are not. They are not curable. And that is why prevention is absolutely the best and really the only strategy.
But what about couples who want to have children but are unable to, even after trying? Well, this is where science comes in with some modern miracles. Let's talk about something called ART, Assisted Reproductive Technologies. This is a very hopeful, very positive field of medicine that's helping so many people build their families. You've probably heard of the most famous ART technique. It's IVF, what people often call the test tube baby program. This slide breaks it down into 3 simple steps for you. So step 1, collection. The egg from the female and sperm from the male are collected. Easy. Step 2, fertilization. They are fused together in a laboratory to form a zygote. And step 3, transfer. The tiny early embryo is then transferred back into the female's body. Now, depending on how developed the embryo is, it can go into the fallopian tube, that's ZIFT, or directly into the uterus, that's IUT, and then it can grow naturally from there.
Phew! And just like that, we've covered the entire chapter. How are you feeling? I think you're all experts now. But wait, before we finish, let's do a super-duper quick revision of all the important short forms, the acronyms, just to lock them in your memory. Are you ready for a rapid-fire round? Let's go!
Okay, try to say them with me, nice and clear. RCH, what is it? Reproductive and Child Health Care. Good. IUD, Intrauterine Device. MTP, Medical Termination of Pregnancy. STI, Sexually Transmitted Infection. ART, Assisted Reproductive Technology. IVF, Intravital Fertilization. And the last one, ZIFT, Zygote Intrafallopian Transfer. Excellent. Please memorize these. They are so important for your exam.
And with that, our revision is done. It's complete. You've understood all the key ideas of this chapter, and I am so proud of you. You are all prepared. So now, just go, be confident, and give your absolute best in the exam. All the very best, my dear Bacho. I know you will do great.